So, good afternoon. Hi, with Dina from Authority Marketing. All right.
Hello. Thanks for having
Hello.
me.
You're welcome. Welcome. So, just to kick off, then, if you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us about what you do, how long you've been doing it for.
Yes, sure. So I run a marketing agency and we specialize in building authority on LinkedIn and copywriting. That's in short. We've been doing it for a year now officially, but I started as a copywriter a year before already. So let's say for copywriting, 2 years in total, and for LinkedIn, let's say 1 year.
Okay, brilliant.
Yes.
So, I'm just working back here a year, a little bit of obviously COVID crossover in terms of asking business owners how
Yes.
that's impacted. How's that impacted yourself?
Well, I'm sad to say this, but basically the best thing of COVID for me is that it really helped my business. And the reason I said I'm sad to say this is because I know how many businesses were suffering.
Mhm.
I, for example, used to be an event manager before I became a copywriter. And I felt so bad for all my colleagues because in event management, because their careers, suddenly
Yeah.
stopped. Of course, they could do online events, but it's not the same amount of money,
Sure.
So it was really a tough time for them. And I'm really grateful that already before COVID, I started with copywriting. Otherwise, I would be probably under the bridge somewhere. Like it wouldn't have done well. But for copywriting is actually great because all the businesses that were not online before realized, okay, now is the time that we really need to go online. And of course, when you're present online, you need great website copy, you need great landing pages, you need sales page copy, you need your LinkedIn profile or whatever it is, you definitely need a copywriter. So for copywriting, it's a great thing,
Yeah, speaking to other business owners, it's COVID did have a positive impact in terms of its business growth and stuff like that. So it's not an uncommon thing that we're hearing.
Yes.
Would they say there'd be one or two actions you've taken because of the pandemic, or was it because of the pandemic that you went into copywriting?
Yes, no, it wasn't because of the pandemic. As I said, I was lucky that I already started earlier with that. But when pandemic hit, when we were in our first lockdown, I remember it was stressful and everything, but I tried to focus on work. So I really worked a lot. You are locked in your apartment, you can't go anywhere. So I just used that. I was working basically, 12 hours a day. So working, and I was like, okay, what can I do now? It's a horrible situation. Back then, everybody were panicking. I bet you remember how it was first lockdown, everybody panicking, nobody's going out, nothing you can do. So I was like, okay, let's take, the best out of it. What is the best thing that I can do out of this? I can work, all day because I can go anywhere. I can meet with friends. I can do normal things. So I can just work. And it really did help me with my business a lot. Of course, when you put in the time and effort, it shows results.
Rewards.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. So what does the future look like for you, and sort of what do you see the main challenges going forward then?
Well, I hope the future is bright.
That's
there
good
are
to
many.
hear.
Yes, there are many challenges. When you're just a copywriter, then your main role is to write, and you are all the time in the process of writing, creativity, and you have every now and then, of course, calls with clients, but when you run an agency, it's a completely different thing. So you face many challenges that you didn't know previously, that you will face one day. So for example, I don't know, training your team, onboarding new stuff, then I don't know, a lot of course, sales calls, talking to clients, a lot of things that, previously you didn't have to do. It's also quite challenging for people who have creative job. So as a main writer in the agency, I still need to be creative. I still write a lot of stuff. I still write a lot for us, for example, as an agency, our copy. So it's very challenging to combine the time you need in quiet and peace and combine the time where you are a manager, when your phone is ringing, when you need to talk to clients, social media, you know how it is.
Sure.
So that switch, you know, is really difficult. What I learned that really helps is that I book a certain days of the week. I book when I only write, and I don't have coaching clients. I don't have calls with clients. I don't exist basically. I just write and I focus in deep work. And that really was a game changer for me. So, you know, a lot of things like that you need to learn or acquire new skills, learn how to do it. So yeah, a lot of challenges. I bet that when you grow, as you grow, that you face even more challenges, you know, like dealing with more people. When your clients become bigger, mostly egos got bigger as well. So, you know, I previously heard, you know, dealing with big egos is also not easy, which is really not. So
the psychology of it.
Yeah. A lot of things you weren't thinking of. I wasn't thinking of before. Yeah.
Sure. No, they're good challenges to have. It means you're growing if you've got those challenges personally as well as in the business. So
yes,
yeah, it's pretty commonplace again, stuff that we hear. So what would you say the biggest learning is you've had since being a business owner?
Biggest learning. That's a good question. Biggest learning is maybe that, you know, there is never an end. So like you always think, you know, as soon as I overcome this part, you know, in my business,
get to one
then
place,
as soon as I get there, you know, it's gonna be fine. Like, you know, it's gonna be easier. And then when you reach that stage, you're like, oh shit, like next? 10 new problems, you know, like next thing and so on.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is one big lesson that I've learned, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah. Empathize with that. So what is the best advice if we were to go back in time and you were to meet an 18-year-old version of your 18-year-old self? What would you say in terms of advice to Dina as an 18-year-old?
Well, I suppose I would say a lot of that, but the main advice would be that you always need to trust your gut. It's always right here. Like your intuition rarely lies, and I found in my both personal and business life that I always need to follow my intuition. So, you know, if it feels good, then it probably will be good. I will feel good about it. If it doesn't, if something is off, then, you know, there is probably a reason behind it why it seems off. So we try to always follow our intuition. So, you know, even if I don't know, if I speak to a prospect on a call and on paper they are a really good client for us and everything, but somehow like the vibe is not there, you know, the energy, you can just feel it. Maybe, you know, it's not the right thing. We say, sorry, like you're not a good fit for us. And this is like what I learned that is the best way to do.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. Okay. So lastly, in terms of authority marketing, any offers, either promotions or latest news, information about the business that you might want to share for the advantage of people that watch this?
Sir. We are now working hard on our digital products. We are trying to productize our services the best that we can. So one of our digital products is already out, LinkedIn hooks. There are 67 hooks for posts that people post on LinkedIn. So do you know what a hook is? So hook is the first sentence of the post. Basically, each job is to hook the reader to keep on reading.
Tell me more. Click on here. I want to know more. Yeah.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So that's the job of the hook. So we have one digital product out. It's 67 hooks, basically copy-paste templates that you can apply to any industry and examples for various industries. This is one product. And the next product is coming out on Wednesday. So less than a week now. It's gonna be steps to writing a killer LinkedIn profile. So a detailed framework, a step-by-step guide that guides you to write an amazing LinkedIn profile, like exactly explain how to do it and of course, examples of profiles of our previous clients, like top clients profiles that we've written. That's going to be also part of it, and the breakdown, what we did with each profile and why. So this is our next product, and we are heavily working on launching our newsletter. It should be out soon, and with that newsletter, we already have a product that's free with that newsletter. It's 27 tips to write 10 times faster in 1 hour. So it's like tips how to write better. Whatever you write, there are like many different examples. We're gonna launch that together with the newsletter. So this one is gonna be free. And that's basically it. We are planning to launch our cohort course for LinkedIn, for building brand authority on LinkedIn. We don't know yet when it's gonna be, but we assume September/October, something like that. So we are working now on these things.
How do we get hold of your hooks book and sign up for your newsletter? Where can we go to find those?
Yes, for hooks, our website is currently under construction. So hooks are in my featured section and in my co-founders featured section on my LinkedIn profile. But the newsletter is going to be launched when we launch basically a part of the website as well. So it's going to be on the website, and of course it's going to be on my LinkedIn profile as well in the featured section. So, and we're going to update our audience in my posts and my co-founders posts. So it's going to be on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Not for your 67 hooks, so to get on the LinkedIn profile. Brilliant. Thanks, Dina. Well, that's everything. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thanks for having me. You too. Bye.